Make sure you put the phones on silent, family. Phones on silent.
Shalom, shalom, giving all honor and praise to the Most High, the Son, Yahushua. We all the Battle Axes of the Most High come to you on the Sabbath class to get edified in the Lord's name. We're doing the Q&A, the Sabbath Q&A today. So, brothers and sisters, got any questions? We're going to go through the precepts. And after the precept, thus said the Lord. So, any brothers and sisters got any questions on the line? Brothers and sisters got any questions already here? We just hope the brothers and sisters be patient enough so we can get through all the questions. Also, we got high holy days coming up that we just went through with the class, like the structure of Nicanor, Purim, they go back to back. So, also we hope that, like you say, keep the prayers going up for brothers and sisters too, man. Especially, I know we're still in the winter, man, and it's still the mean season, we got to keep the prayers going up for each other, man. Let's go into Psalm chapter 10 right quick. Any brothers and sisters got any questions before we start? I know y'all want to be the first person that get the first question, but you can be the first person. What you got, Art?
Mark 7:26.
Let's go to Mark. We'll go back to Psalm. When you get down, let's do what question you got about it first?
It says a woman was a Syro-Phoenician. Is that like some kind of Syrian heathen or something like that?
Yeah, you can pretty much say that. But let's read it though. Go to 25 and read that. 24.
Come. The book of St. Mark, chapter 7, verse 24. And from thence he arose and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon.
So this going to Tyre and Sidon, which is what? Africa, right? Read.
And entered into the house, and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid.
Because he could not be hid, right? But let's read on. Let's put it, explain.
For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet.
Right, read.
The woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nation.
By nation, read.
And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. But Yahushua said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children bread and cast it unto dogs.
Why is he saying that?
He's only here.
I need more. Explain it.
Matthew 15:24, he came for the Israelites.
He came with Israelite, but explain what this is saying. He said it is not meet to give the children bread and cast it to dogs. Why would he say that? Because she was but y'all just saying partial, just answer the whole thing through, right? What you just say? I need more of that. Explain a little bit more, because we want everybody to get understanding of this, right? So we trying to explain a little bit more.
Children did it.
The children, okay, let me explain it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So basically, what is going on right now, this is a heathen woman asking Christ, could she, can her child get healed, right? And so Christ said, no, I can't. Why would I go heal you and you're a heathen? Basically, that's what he's saying. Why would I heal your daughter and you're a heathen? It's not me to give my bread take from my nation that need to be healed to heal one of your nations, right? That's why I'm saying just go into explain it, right? So read on.
Verse 28. And she answered and said unto him, Yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs.
What does it mean? She acknowledged what? She said it first.
She acknowledged the position that the place of the heathen, knowing that Israel is the first portion, and the heathen would eat. They be servants. They're gonna get what's left over.
That's right. You understand that? So she acknowledged her place, right? What you got, y'all?
Then I was just saying, so verse 26, the woman was a Greek. What does that Greek mean? Basically what they're trying to say, Gentile, right? Syrophoenician by nation. What does that by nation mean?
A culture.
Blood birth, right? Because nation is going to what? Bloodline, right? So this is showing you that she definitely was a true Gentile, right? Or heathen. Right? And you got inline factors to show that he went to the borders of Tyre, right? So we know these Syrians, Tyre, Zidon, definitely going into African, ancient African nation, right? So a Greek, she was a Gentile, Syrophoenician, she was a Syrian by blood. She was a Syrian by birth, right? Mama, right? You had your hand raised? Yes, ma'am. We're in Mark 7 and 26. Yes, ma'am. That was a question.
This precept with what? What is this going on?
Matthew 7:6.
Matthew 15.
Matthew's explain a little bit more. Mark explains a little bit more that Matthew doesn't explain. So this is what this is going to give it to you: a landmass, a particular area, and literally saying what nation she is. It's like ancient Africa. You understand that? Syrophoenician, ancient Africa. It's really just giving you that landmass, which is modern day Lebanon today.
You would go 24 on now?
22.
Yes, the same thing.
Matthew
15,
21.
22. Yeah, 21 on there.
Yeah, 21.
Same thing. Remember, when y'all are reading the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Matthew explains some. Luke explains certain things that Matthew doesn't explain, but a lot of the stories are the same stories. You brothers and sisters understand that. They're the same stories. Some just explain a little bit more than others. Just like when we having conversation, you talking to your brother, a brother may give you certain details that this brother may not give you. It's the same thing with the gospel. Y'all want to make sure when y'all reading over these stories that y'all link up the precepts. What is that?
Then Jose was saying when she on the force, she was talking crap. Yeah, crazy, man. Man, any other question, brother, sister, got? What you got, sis?
In Nehemiah 10 and 28, who are the Nethinims?
We go to Nehemiah 10 and 28.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 28. And the rest of the people, the priests, the Levites, the porters, the singers, the Nethinims.
Hello, it's a Nethinim, brothers. See how much reach out got on y'all. See how much reach out got on y'all. What this dude talking about the Africans with the high priest?
Say it again, huh? One of the brothers of Levites.
What? What?
Brothers of Levi.
They was dealing with each other. But let's read on about.
And all they that had separated themselves from the people of the land unto the law of God.
So these was all the people thinking about this. It said it was the porters, it was the singers, the Levites, and it was the Nethinims. All of them separated themselves, meaning what? Unto the laws of God, meaning what? They was holy. And who was those? They was priests. Y'all get that? It's explained it. Let's read that again. Verse, start from the top.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 28. And the rest of the people, the priests,
That's what it said. The priests, what?
the
It
Levites,
said the Levites, because the Levites were what? And what and then read on.
the porters,
They was the porters, right? Read.
the singers,
The singers, read.
the Nethinims,
They was the next one too, read.
and all they that have separated themselves from the people of the land unto the law of God,
Unto the law of God, read.
their wives, their sons, and their daughters, every one having knowledge and having understanding.
So these are the people of knowledge and understanding. These were the people that people would come to. They were just different positions of Levites.
Even when y'all want to make sure that y'all go into those words, go into the definitions, even just reading the definition, it says given one. The Nethinims, they were temple assistants in ancient Jerusalem. So even like Ak is going into, they help assist in ordering the temple ordinance on things that they had to do daily in the temple. Do brothers and sisters understand that? Temple assistants. What you have, Mama, right?
Are the Nethinims, Israelites?
Even like Ak was going into, remember, only Israelites could be in the temple. Only be the priests.
Why they call them borders and cities?
Those like
Said they help.
yeah, those just different administrations in the temple.
Do you know what a porter is? A porter is somebody that designates feast for brothers and sisters. Remember, we were highly ordered. We were highly ordered.
So Nethinim, so was it like the land they was living in, or was it like?
They was just like the rest of the Levites. They wasn't appointed land.
So they wasn't Levites.
Yes.
Okay.
These were the, like you say, these were all the offices. These were the offices that the Levites had. These was just part of the offices. They had more offices than that. But this is part of it. Right? What you got?
So their bloodline, would their bloodline be in Genesis?
The Levites bloodline be in Genesis.
Or, because I'm looking at Ezra 2,
In,
2 and 43,
yeah.
or does it go more in depth in Genesis?
Go to Ezra chapter 9. They are Levites. They are Levites with different, what like I said, administration. That's it. Go to Ezra 9 and 1. If you look and understand, it says the Nethinims and all they that had separated themselves, right? So put a difference between the Nethinims, the porters, the singers, and all. Right? We'll read Ezra 9 and 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 1. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to him, saying, the people of Israel,
Read,
and the priests,
and the priests,
and the Levites.
and the Levites. So you see, when you go back to 28, 10 and 28, it tells you about the Levites being the porters, the priests, the singers, and the Nethinims. And then it says all they that had separated themselves. Go back to 9 and 1 and read that again.
Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel,
So see, all them, the people of Israel, read,
and the priests,
and the priests,
and the Levites,
and the Levites. Right, go ahead.
have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites.
So the Nethinims were simply Levites.
Right? Let's go back to Ezra. We're gonna go to Ezra chapter 2. We're gonna jump down to verse 70. And it's gonna explain to you about the cities that they lived in too. Right? Let's read that. Yeah.
The book of Ezra, chapter 2, and verse 70. So the priests and the Levites, and some of the people, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims dwelled in their cities, and all Israel in their cities.
Y'all see that, brothers? Just like they had their own special cities, like all the Levites, right, in the suburb, right? That's the same things the Levites had the same way. There was no difference here. Brothers and sisters get, see it.
Well, now go to that Ezra chapter 8, verse 20.
The book of Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 20. Also the Nethinims, whom David and the princes had appointed for the service of the Levites, 212 Nethinims. All of them were expressed by name.
That's it right there.
8:20. Yeah.
Brothers and sisters, see that? That's the reason I put that. Right. Any other question, brothers and sisters got? What you got?
Yeah, Jude 1, and 6. Jude 1 and 6.
Let's read it.
The book of St. Jude, chapter 1 and verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he have reserved it. He have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day.
What question you got about it?
So the angels, what do you mean? The so-called angels that's messengers of the Most High, or angels from heaven, or?
Let's go to 2 Peter. Chapter 2, verse 4.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 4. For God spared not the angels that sinned,
He spared not the angels that sinned, read,
but cast them down to hell,
but cast them down to hell, read,
and delivered them into chains of darkness,
and delivered them into the chains of darkness, right? Read,
to be reserved unto judgment,
right? Read on.
and spared not the old world,
And so he spared not the old world,
but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
right?
2 Peter 2.
Okay, yeah, my bad. There's something else. Let's go read that again.
Like, verse 4 again.
Yeah, read verse 4 again.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 4. For God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment.
What do y'all think is going into? Let's see what goes on.
Psalm 103.
He called down a precept, don't know what he's talking about. See what brothers know, man. Meaning what?
That he cast them down to hell, meaning into a state of.
What is this? What is the chain of darkness thing he's talking about? He said he cast angels down to chains of darkness. What is this going into? See what brothers know. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5.
Brother Fred, even before we go there, there's always context clues to let you know which angel we're talking about. So, the prime example, do the angels of the Most High celestial beings, do they go against anything the Most High God say? No. So that's already a cancellation right there. So we know that these angels are put into darkness. We know that these cannot be the celestial angels that dwell with the Most High. So what is the other definition of angels?
Messenger.
Messengers. So this has to be the messengers that he's talking about, because angels cannot sin. They do not go against what the Most High God ordained. So all that fallen angel stuff, that's not in the Bible. That's pseudepigrapha,
So
false
what?
doctrine.
So what is the chain of darkness? Chains of darkness.
That's what I can tell you.
Go to Isaiah chapter 5. Just like I say, you got the process of elimination, especially on the brothers just learn, a little bit learning the truth. Like you should be a little bit more learned than it. You know, like certain things, like I touching on. You got to like put things in the right order, right? Go to Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
He said, therefore, my people are going into captivity. Read.
Because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Read on.
Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself.
Why did they call this? What hell is this? Because those messengers were cast into chains of darkness, meaning they was cast to hell. So what hell is this?
Say it again, huh? Captivity.
Captivity. This is hell right here is going into captivity, right? So he says, therefore hell had enlarged herself, read.
And opened her mouth without measure.
And opened her mouth without measure, read.
In their glory, in their multitude, in their pomp. And he that rejoices shall descend into it.
Right? So he that rejoices, meaning all the people of Israel, guess what? We'll descend into those things, meaning going into captivity. So this particular hell is not the hell that your church is talking about. This is the hell on earth that we walking in right now, which is captivity. Right?
So meaning when what? When we sin, because remember it was our job never to know sin. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 2. Yeah.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
And he made us to be an image of his own eternity. God's own eternity is what that he's in order, that he keeps the commandments. This was what our job was to do. But when we failed, like I just went over, each time we break God's laws, statutes, commandments, that's where Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13 goes into place. Where we go into captivity. Read on up.
So like, for God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil, came death into the world.
Since we wanted to be like the other nations, mainly the so-called white man, that's how we went into death. Death, hell, these things are synonymous with each other. Read on now.
And they that hold of his side do find it.
You understand that?
Yeah.
We get what you got up?
So can I put that with that Jude? Not only Isaiah 5 and 13 and 14, could I put Isaiah 28 and 15 with it too?
Yeah, the death and hell.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get that one and let's go to the book of describing the different angels. Yeah. What brother got the precept in the Apocrypha? Where it gives you one definition of the word angel. Yeah, let's get that right quick. Thanks, Soldier at time. Second Ezra chapter 1, verse 39, because it's two types of angels. I mean, it's many words in the Bible that have plural definitions. Angels, a lot of times when people think of angels, they just think about Michael, Gabriel, celestial beings with wings. But the Most High God also defines an angel as this. You get to read this out.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 1 and verse 39.
As a messenger of God. Read on. A terrestrial messenger of God. You have celestial, meaning up there with the third heaven, and terrestrial, meaning of the Latin word terra. Terrestrial, celestial. Read that out.
Second Ezra, chapter 1, and verse 39. Unto whom will I give for leaders? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Osias, Amos, and Micaiah, Joel, Abadias, and Jonas.
So these are all the prophets of the Old Testament. Read on out. It's just written in the Greek. That's why it's read a little different. Read on.
Nahum, and Abednego, Sophonias, Agis, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord.
Which is called what are?
An angel of the Lord.
So the prophet Malachi, these prophets were called angels of the Lord, meaning they bring out the messages from the Most High on a terrestrial level, on an earthly level. And brothers and sisters understand that.
Jump over to Second Ezra chapter 8, verse 21. They're like I was talking about with all the angels of the Lord. Guess what? They're gonna be in order with the Lord too.
That's right.
They gonna go out and do what they want to do. They're not like me. They perfectly in order. Read that out.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 8, and verse 21. Whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended.
So it said the Lord is his throne, you can't estimate it, and his glory you cannot comprehend. Right? Read.
Before whom the host of angels stand with trembling.
They stand in front of the Lord trembling. Right? Meaning that, like even in Job chapter 1, you think the angels was out of order in Job chapter 1? No. They asked a question, and the Lord said, do you want to go do that? And he said, go ahead. But guess what? If the angel had his way, he could do anything he wanted to. But according to Job chapter 1, the reason why the angels can even ask a question or do anything, well, how can anything get onto you? Huh? No. Jump on you? Huh? What you mean? Can y'all give us more? Let me see. Just like with the angels, when they go to do their job, the Most High God said they are completely in order. What? Let's read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 78, and verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them.
Meaning, guess what? The Lord controls the good angels and the evil angels. Right? That's how the Lord do. He got the good angel and the evil angel. He got both of them in control. Brothers and sisters better understand it. Right? What other question we got?
Just to clarify with Jude 1 and 6. As far as it says, but left their own habitation. That habitation isn't saying laws, right?
Yes. That
So
habitation, because what is our habitation? To do what?
Keep the law.
That to dwell in the temple of the Most High. To keep the laws. Go ahead.
I'm also going into what? Rulership, right? Yeah, we pulled ourselves down to be the bottom of the earth. So our habitation is supposed to be on high. We're supposed to be dwelling on the best parts of the land. We have the do of everything if we continue to keep our commandments. So yeah, we brought our habitation down to a lower state. Right? Servants on what? Horses, princes walking. Ecclesiastes 10 and 8.
Let's get that in there, 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. Because us, Most High God, even from the beginning, bringing us up out of that dust, bringing us up from a lower estate, giving us the laws, statutes, and commandments, that is our habitation. Well-known precept we always go over. It's just brothers have to learn to start thinking about these basic precepts on a deeper level. That's right. Read this right quick.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, and verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
So the Most High God does all these things. He makes people poor, meaning he takes your funds and he, guess what, makes you rich in spirit and physically rich. That's why we have King Solomon, one of the richest kings ever. Read on.
And make it rich. He bring it low and lift it up.
And he can bring your spirit down low, or he can bring your spirit up high. Read on up.
He raised up the poor out of the dust.
And we're literally the poor. And this is the beginning of us being raised out of the dust, meaning out of a low estate. Because look at the estate of our people that we're in. When you go through TikTok, go through Facebook, I mean, we're in a poor estate, man. Sisters out of order, brothers out of order. Like we say, the YNs is out of order. Read on up.
He raised up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill to set them among princes.
To do what?
To set them among princes.
Among royalty. Read on up.
And to make them inherit the throne of glory.
To make them inherit the throne of glory. That is our true habitation. That's our true estate. Read on up.
For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he had set the world upon them.
And man, that's some heavy stuff right here. That world referencing who? Israel, man. We're set on those pillars. According to what? Isaiah what? 45:17. Israel is that world. That same word in John 3:16. That same word in John 18:22. These are precepts that brothers should already have. Go ahead.
Go to Sirach right quick, man. Do y'all understand the importance of the scriptures? He raised the poor out of the dust, lifted up the beggar from the dunghill. Are we out there on the streets asking for money, begging for money? But guess what? We still living a beggar's life, man. Go to Sirach 40:28. If we are the kings and princesses of this earth, we still praying to God that, oh, I get this job from this white man. Oh, I pray to God that I get my check on time from this white man. We are still living a beggar's life, man. And it's because we are put on the Lord's state, like the scripture said, man. We brought ourselves back down to the bottom of this world, man. Read this. So when this scripture, it applies to us even today, man. We ain't out on the streets asking to beg for money, but we still living that beggar's life. Because the world is made for our sakes, man. Read this out.
The book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life. Read. For better is it to die than to beg.
Because we are still living that beggar's life today, man. Lord, I hope I get this job, man. Lord, I'm the same way. I need my check. Lord, I hope I get my check this week, man. Don't mess up me on my check, man. Yeah, we ain't physically out there begging on the street. Here, we still living a beggar's life because they still got our hands in their power. We still doing exactly what we have to do for them. Therefore, we still living a beggar's life, man. For us to be the kings and princes of the earth, for us to be the greatest people on the planet according to Deuteronomy 7:6, we are definitely living a beggar's life as a nation. So make sure this is why we come to class every Sabbath. This is why we study to show ourselves approved so that we can get out of that estate, man. Right? Sooner or later, we start building our own jobs, right? Building at this world with law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. All right? They let me make it. Yeah, we might not
Get the crumbs from our table.
That's right.
Right?
Let me get one more real quick. Go to the class. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 1. Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 1. The book of Lamentations was written by who, Brother Dawood?
Jeremiah.
All praise. The book of Lamentations means what?
Mourn.
Book of mourning. Why were they mourning? What captivity?
Babylon.
One brother's got to be on it. Boom, 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 boom. Because of the Babylonian captivity, he had to write these things down, man.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1.
You never even heard them call out the book of Lamentations in Christianity.
Right.
I've never heard them say, read the book. Hey, give me the book of Lamentations. Look at that. What? Read this out.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger and cast down from heaven?
Hold up. He was pissed off at us. Most High God was mad at us because we broke his commandments. Read on.
And cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel.
Cast down from heaven to the earth. Christians will take this to mean, oh, these are angels right here. That's the fallen angels right there. But not knowing that it's what? Many different definitions of the word angel. What is one definition? Ezekiel Yah.
Messages.
Of heaven. Salaki.
Heaven right here in this context is talking about rulership.
What is one definition of heaven?
You got the third heaven.
Okay. What is another one, Brother Renard? Space. What you got? Twin.
Rulership.
Rulership. What is the last?
You asking me?
Nah.
Oh.
Brother Balak.
The sky.
The sky. You brothers and sisters understand that space is considered heaven. The sky is considered heaven. In the Bible, where the Most High God dwells in the third heaven, that is considered heaven. And the heaven that this is talking about is rulership over the planet Earth. That is heaven. Read that again.
Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel.
Meaning he took Israel from heaven and cast them down into captivity. This is the context of this heaven. Read on.
And remember not his footstool in the day of his anger.
This is another point. Read on.
Verse 2. The Lord had swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob.
He swallowed them up, meaning he took them away from us. Going into that habitation, meaning they left their habitation. What we read in the book of 2 Peter. Read on.
And hath not pity.
And he did not pity us, man. He killed man, woman, and child because he was fed up with us, breaking his law, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughters of Judah. He had brought them down to the ground.
Put us on the lower state captivity. Read on now.
He had polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof.
So this is the heaven, like you say, being brought down, taken out of rulership. Go ahead.
Let's get one more. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 26. And let's go touch on it a little bit more. That's how when we pray, like our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So we're gonna be praying for our kingdom to be on earth like it is in heaven, right? Everything in order, everything beautiful.
That's right.
Right? We praying for the same thing, right? Deuteronomy 26, read verse 15.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 26 and verse 15. Look down from thy holy habitation from heaven.
So he said, look down from thy holy habitation from heaven, right? Read.
And bless thy people Israel.
And bless thy people Israel. The same thing I was touching on in habitation. Right? Read.
In the land which thou hast given us, as thou swearest unto our fathers.
So when we in our habitation, when we in our glory, when we in our rulership, we are in our land. Right? Read.
Come, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Right? The land that floweth with milk and honey. Read.
This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thine soul.
Jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. And to make thee high above all nations.
So when we are in our high habitation, what making thee high, when he made us high above all nations, we go back to our glory. Right? Read.
Which he hath made in praise and in name and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he hath spoken.
As he has spoken, right? So this goes into the same thing like I can touch it on here. So when we in our homeland, here we go, right? But we're not in our homeland. When he casts us off, it means we in what? Captivity or a lower state, right?
Like it says in the book of Ezekiel, we're basically in the nether parts of the earth, meaning the worst parts. That's some heavy stuff. I mean, it's the glorious parts of the earth, man. Like we say, which is our land.
Y'all got it.
Can we get that in Ezekiel? You were just talking about that?
With the Netherlands,
Yeah.
Ezekiel chapter 30. Ezekiel 14.
Yeah, we got it 14 years.
Oh. I'm saying neither and never. Sort of. Yeah, read verse 14. Get straight to it. Yeah.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 31 and verse 14.
First of all, real quick, what brothers remember the breakdown in Ezekiel 31? Do any brother remember the breakdown?
I'm going to the nation, right? Nations. Oh, you're talking about 40 verse 9.
You're talking about basically all from 1 all the way down, from 3 down to 14. I mean, the chapter, really. What is the chapter kind of going to? Do any brother remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
The tree, the high tree, and the lower trees.
Remember, Ezekiel 31 is a similitude that the Most High God was comparing Adam to Egypt. How great Egypt and Assyria was the same way how Adam was in the beginning. So this is a deep similitude. Read verse 14.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 31 and verse 14. To the end that none of all the trees by the waters exalt themselves for their height.
So we know that the trees are going into what? Men. All praise. Got the precept up? Read on.
By the waters exalt themselves for their height, neither shoot up their top among the thick
The
boughs.
water is going into the understanding. Read on up.
Neither shoot up their top among the thick boughs, neither their trees stand up in their height, all that drink water.
All that get it the understanding. Read on up.
For they are all delivered unto death, to the nether parts of the earth.
To the nether parts of the earth, meaning the worst parts, to the bottom of the earth. Read on up.
In the midst of the children of men.
So when Adam fell, that trickled down all of us to fall. And when the Most High God kicked Adam out, he kicked everybody out. And we dwell in the nether parts of the earth, meaning Oak Cliff, meaning South Dallas, Bunton, South Dallas. These are the nether parts of the earth, man. The best parts is what Capt Jerubbaal was going into Israel. Read on now. With the children of men. Who are the children of men? Heathens. That's right. Other nations. Read on now.
With them that go down to the pit.
Hold on. Now, he made a broad statement. He sent us there with heathens. Why did he send us there with heathens? So we back in our homeland. And I just want to ask this question: why would heathens be there?
But they're gonna be serving and handmaids.
Oh, okay. We just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
You said, read, jump down to verse 16. 16 to 17.
Verse 16. I made the nation to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell with them that descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon.
Hold on. Start back on the top again. I want brothers to catch this.
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
Verse 16 from the top. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall.
What does that? Damn, that's tough. He said he made the nations to shake at his ball. Meaning what? That's pretty good. Did y'all hear what he said? Basically, when he made Adam fall, when Adam fell, and he said the people heard that fall, made them fear. The fear of the Lord, right? They know he's the one true God, right? Go ahead.
This was his chosen, and he made him fall. Lord. All right, see how that free go? Read on.
When I cast him down to the hill with them that descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink water shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth.
Read 17.
Verse 17. They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword.
You see that? We also went down to hell with them. We start with.
They cluster.
That's right. We went to hell with them. Hell in this understanding is going into what?
Lord, stay.
Yeah, lower state, right? We also brought ourselves down to act like them, man. Right? Sisters want to wear blonde hair. You put yourself in a lower state, right?
Right.
Brothers wanna marry heathen nations, man. You just put yourselves in a lower state. Read on.
They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword, and they that were in his arm, that were his arm, that dwell under his shadow in the midst of the heathen.
So you see, the Lord put us in the midst of the heathen, right? And like I said, He put us in the midst of the heathen for what? Also for the heathen to be doing what to us.
Sword.
The sword. Yes. Yes, you get your ass whooped by them. You want to be with them, you're going to get your butt whooped with them, man. By them, right? Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you use that Ezekiel 16 and 26 to like 28 for this same thing in the context?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 26. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, thy neighbors great of flesh, and has increased thy whoredom to provoke me to anger. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee.
Watch the captors out.
Oh, it's like,
No, watch it.
oh yeah.
Definitely the same thing, man.
Watch the captors. Watch what this.
Committed fornication with the Egyptians, man. Why they saying the same thing? Oh, really? The chapter. Like them chapters really go together.
What did we leave off there? What was the last piece of you pulled?
17. We went to Ezekiel 31, 16 to 17.
Read 17 again.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 31 and verse 17. They also went down into hell with him, unto them that slain with the sword, and they that were his arm, that dwell under his shadow in the midst of the heathen.
I'm gonna tell you. In reading the New Testament, this was a veil. This is one of the veils that they had on their face, right? Meaning that this same veil, when they read the scriptures, you get, if it was possible, they'd pull the very elect. That's why they think all heathens to be saved, because the same doctrine that the heathens taught them, that's what they subscribe to. Let's go into theological school, they cemetery schools, all of these things right here run straight into this. Like when we fell from our high state to our lower state, that's when they came with their doctrine. Well, the Lord not dealing with y'all no more. Hey, y'all one of us. No, we're not one of you. They not like us. They not like us. Right? They just not like us, right?
Why do you think they so prevalent on teaching us not to keep the law, statutes, and commandments? They totally understand that, man. They understand when we don't keep our law, statutes, and commandments that they have the opportunity to rule over.
So when they always say we are one, then we push that we are a different nation. They call it hate, right? Because they know that's right. Because they know that if we stay one, we won't be the greatest people that we're supposed to be. If we stay, everybody is the same. God loves everybody. But then guess what? These brothers won't have their strength, which is the law. So they call that hate. When we go out there and say, no, we are different people from you, why y'all out here teaching hate? There was a hate to give clarity of the Bible and understand that the Lord divided the nation. That's called hate. Oh, but you going and putting your foot on an innocent so-called black man's neck in the streets, shooting a sister down without any cause, that's not hate. But when we teach the Bible in its proper manner, when we teach division is hate amongst the nation. What they try to do, read 18.
Verse 18. To whom art thou thus like in glory?
So we are like in glory to the Most High God. We were created in His image. The trees, we were those trees that were created in the glory and the image of the Father. Right?
And in greatness among the trees of Eden.
Right? We were great in greatness among all the other trees. Right? Going into all the other what? All the other nations. Read.
Yet shalt thou be brought down.
Yet you'll be brought down. Read.
With the trees of Eden.
But you're gonna be brought down, like I said, this is nothing but a summary of the damn chapter. You're gonna be brought down with the rest of them. You're gonna be acting, you want to be acting like them, or you'll get treated like them, right? Read.
Unto the nether parts of the earth.
Saying it again, right? To the lowest parts of the earth. Read.
Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised, with them that be slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, said the Lord God.
All right, and today this is what? Host Joe Biden and Donald Trump and all his multitude, right?
Watch this. Go to Psalm 10. This one I'm gonna pull up. What we got in? Psalm chapter 10. Start at verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord?
Right, read.
Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?
Read.
The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor.
This is the same thing it's touching on. So the wicked in his pride persecute the poor, right? Read.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
This is what King David's praying for, man. This is what we should be praying for, man. Against these heathens, right? Read.
Come. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred.
Right? Read.
The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God.
Read on.
God is not in all his thoughts.
Guess what? The God's not in his thoughts. Meaning what?
They don't believe in God. Or they acknowledge God.
Well,
They don't follow his ways.
okay, boy, I need more.
Second Ezra 3:36.
Let's go there. Second Ezra 3 and 36.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, and verse 36. Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precept, but not the heathen.
I'm going to look at verse 35.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, and verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwelt upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people had so kept thy commandments?
He said, what people have not kept it? I need 34. No, 33. Give me 33.
Verse 33. And yet the reward appeared not, and the labor had no fruit.
Right?
For I have gone here and there through the heathen.
He said, I go here and there through the heathen.
And I see that they flow in wealth.
And we see that they flow in wealth. Right? Read.
And think not upon thy commandments.
And don't think about the Lord's commandment. Right? Read.
Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance.
He said,
and
weigh our wickedness in the balance. And what?
And theirs also.
And weigh they wickedness in the balance too. Right? Read.
That dwell in the world.
That dwell in the world. Read.
And so shall thy name nowhere be found, but in
That's
Israel.
all the way the Lord's name gonna be found just in Israel. Meaning we the one gonna be keeping the commandment. Right? Read.
Or when was it that they which dwelled upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight?
Right? Read.
Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name
By name.
hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
It's tough. It's tough.
People have to actually believe what they say, because I'm gonna tell you that is the sorcery of Christianity, and that's something that we always have to focus on in class. Christianity gets you to go against the Bible, your better judgment, logic, reading comprehension. I ain't gonna even lie, just to bring it up, I was watching the debate with Capt and this Edomite, and they was battling over, do we have to keep God's laws? Capt went to what Christ said on how to get the kingdom of heaven and Esau tried to explain that thing away. It said verbatim. That's why I said today. It's literally Christ telling you that you have to keep the law to go and make it to the kingdom. He said, no, we don't. All we have to have is faith. Well, then what about James chapter 2, verse 14? Faith without works. What is the works? What are you going to be judged by? This makes absolutely no sense. Thinking that you're going to make it to heaven without having to do a damn thing. Where do we do that at, man? That makes absolutely no sense. That's why the scriptures say we ought to obey God rather than men, man.
Right.
Christianity have literally dumbed our people down, man. It literally have, man. Go ahead, huh?
What you got out?
Can I throw that Psalms 147 and 19 and 20 with that?
Should have acknowledged Jacob. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I got that. I was saying add that to those.
Yeah.
And like I said, then they want to ask questions like, well, will the law save you?
Right.
Right? They try to combat and or ask like questions to try to confound you. That's a question to try to confound you. Right? If brothers ever get out that street and teaching, they ask you, well, will the law save you? You straight take them to Matthew 19 and 16. Let's see what the law do for you. Right? Let's let the Bible read. Let's let the Bible dictate it. Because that's what they want. They want you to say yes, and then they want to go to, well, faith. And you gotta have the faith. What are the words? You touch them on the word. It's so much they try to combat, man. They don't believe the Bible. Christianity doesn't believe the Bible. They brought up their own way of learning and processing the Bible. It's not according to the scripture. Any other questions? We got no questions online.
Tell brothers and sisters online. Y'all got any
Hey,
questions online? Y'all can put some questions up there too, man.
I'm just gonna say, you brothers and sisters online, man. Y'all don't have a lot of questions.
Come on with it. Yes.
All right. So Wisdom of Solomon 17, verse 15. Granted, all spirits come from. Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sister Genesis. They didn't. Sister Genesis is going to Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 15, huh? Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 15.
So granted, all spirits come from the spirit world. So when people see apparitions, so do these apparitions come from the spirit world? These ghosts that people see.
Yes, because even in her, that's what it's going into great detail. How the Most High God sent apparitions and it literally scared people to death. I ain't gonna lie, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 15, 16, 17, it goes into great detail about the plagues that the Most High God gave to Egypt for brothers and sisters that have not read. Read verse I mean, the whole thing. Go ahead, verse 9. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, verse 9.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 9. But no terror.
Yeah, oh, it's
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 7. As for the illusion of
verse 6. Sorry, y'all. This
5. Let's go 5 right
yeah. Let's do that.
Because like I said, the whole thing is going into it.
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, if y'all don't mind, we can read the whole
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 1. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unearthly souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppose the holy nation,
read that right.
for when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation,
For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, who was the unrighteous men in this context? The Egyptians.
That's right.
Remember, this is going into great detail about the plagues that the Most High God put on the Egyptians. Mainly this one when he caused the sun to be blocked out. Read on.
They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of dark.
The prisoners of what?
The prisoners of dark.
Because the Most High God was destroying all the Egyptians' gods. Doing this particular God, the God of Ra, the God of the sun. That's why I said in complete darkness was the Messiah. This is heavy. Read on out.
And fettered with the bonds of a long night. Laid there, exiled from the eternal providence.
Meaning that long darkness that the Most High God did. And this is going into Exodus chapter 10, verse 22. Put that precept because this is what this is going into. Read on.
Come. Verse 3. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sin, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgiveness.
Read on out.
Being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions.
Just imagine the Most High God take away the sun right now and it's complete darkness. Y'all know how y'all be when going into those country towns and they ain't got no damn sign lights. You cut your headlights off and it's total darkness. You ain't got the safety of your car. So think about it. You hear strange animals, you hear a pack of lions over here, snakes slitting up. That could kill a person, man. Because you can't see in. You can't see what's in front of you. Read on up.
Verse 4. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from the fear.
So you have people trying to get to their corners to stop them from being fearful, man. You know how you try to find your way through the dark with your hand? You get somewhere, you just stay there, man, because you don't know what the hell is out there. We don't know.
But noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them.
Even the dropping of water was scaring the hell out of people, man. Solomon is getting into the mind of these people on how they felt during that time, man. This is how deep Solomon was, man. Read on now.
Unto them with heavy countenance. No power of the fire might give them light.
So even the power of fire still couldn't give them light. That is darkness, man. Read on now.
Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to light that horrible night.
So, Most High God moved the constellations, man. It wasn't even bright enough for them to see, man. This is some powerful stuff. Read on now.
Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful.
Read on now.
For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not.
Read that part again.
They thought the things which they saw to be worse than the things that.
So it is. My bad. That's that total darkness, man. Read on now.
They thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. As for the illusions of art, magic, they were put down.
So remember, we had the Egyptians magicians trying to offset what the Most High God was doing, but they could not do it, man. They could not stop the power of the Most High. Read on now.
And their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. But they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul,
because that was their job. Remember, they was trying to do any trick that the Most High God do. They could do it, but they couldn't stop it, what the Most High God was doing. Showing you that sorcery and magic is also real. Because guess what? When Moses cast down his snake, guess what? Pharaohs did that too. Read on now. But we know that the Most High God's snake swallowed up theirs. Read on now.
For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves.
Were what?
Were sick themselves.
Hey, they were sick themselves because they couldn't stop the power of the Most High. Read on now.
Of fear, worthy to be laughed at. Read on now. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by.
Yet being scared with beasts, read on, that passed by.
And hissing of serpents.
Man, just imagine you hear a snake and you don't know where the hell it's at. Remember, we got sisters that scared of bugs, let alone a snake.
We see the
brothers that scared of bugs.
You see the bug? You see that thing?
I can tell you, my brother run my mama over for a walk. Brothers scared of bugs. Go ahead.
Read on up.
Verse 10. Verse 10, they died for fear.
Man, you had people that died on the spot, man, because they didn't know what to expect. Read on up.
Denying that they saw the air, which could not of no side be avoided.
Man, read on up.
For For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous in being pressed with conscience, always forecasting grievous things. Read verse 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offered.
So the Most High God said He gives us that understanding of what fear is and how to overcome those things. They were troubled by those things, but the Most High God is telling us that fear is nothing else but betraying of the succors which reason offer, man. Meaning what? The Most High God did not give us the what? He didn't give us the spirit of fear, man. Go ahead.
So to answer, what was your question again? Just to,
So the ghosts, the apparitions.
the apparition,
they come from the spirit world.
yeah. The apparitions, do they come from the spirit world? Are these apparitions or ghosts like things, were they from the spirit? Yes, indeed.
Read verse 15.
Yes.
Verse 15. Were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions.
So He put that on them as well. Were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions. Read on up.
And partly
So
fainted.
you have people, the Egyptians, faint because they did actually see monstrous apparitions. Read on up.
And partly fainted, their heart failing them, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them.
Say. So yes, the Most High God will jack you up on those things. Remember, the Most High God has an armory of weapons at His disposal, from mental to spiritual to physical, financially, health. The Most High God can jack you up many different ways. That's why He's called the King of Terrors.
He even go jump over Wisdom of Solomon 19. He even did that for Solomon. And Solomon explained it too, right? He goes straight into it. Go to the Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19, start at verse 14.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 14. For the Sodomites did not receive those whom they knew not when they came.
When they came, read.
But these brought friends into bondage that had dwelled, so like that were well deserved of them.
Right. But it didn't mean what? The Sodomites, when they came to Lot, what was they trying to do? Sodomize what? The angels. Right? Let's read on. Watch this.
Verse 15. And not only so, but peradventure some respect shall be had of those.
Right, read.
Because they use strangers, not friendly.
So they use strangers, not friendly. This is going to explain, because you got to think the Lord sent what, sis? He said what? To Sodom and Gomorrah, the Lord said what? Angels to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Meaning He sent them out of the heavens. Watch this, read.
Verse 16. But these were very grievously afflicted, whom they had received with feasting, and were already made partakers of the same laws with them.
Meaning what? Everybody that gave into Sodom and Gomorrah laws, they was going to be taken in that land. Right. Watch this, read.
Therefore, even with blindness were these stricken, as those were at the doors of the righteous man.
Meaning they was in front of Lot's door. The Lord stricken them. Why? Because they wanted to come and have sex with His angels, right? Read on.
When being compassed about with horrible great darkness, everyone sought the passage of his own door.
Everyone sought the passage of his own door. Read.
For the elements were changed.
You see that? The elements literally changed, right? Meaning what? He put Smith that were blinded. He put elements in front of them so they couldn't see the angels anymore. Y'all see that? They once seen them, now they can't see them, right? This was sent from the Most High, right? Read.
For the elements were changed in themselves by a kind of harmony.
Right, read.
Like as in a psaltery notes, changed the name of the tune.
He changed the tune. Meaning what? They was trying to get at them. Now they can't get at them. Change the game right in front of them. Right, read.
And yet are always sound, which may well be perceived by the sight of the things that have been done.
Right. So they was trying to get at them. To what? The fear came upon them, right? Go ahead,
That's tough, man. Let's say we go back. I just want to read 17 and 16.
That's right.
Man, I want to read that, man. Say, man, these apparitions were so tough, man. Hey, man, this is heavy, man. Read Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 16. I'll pray.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter
Well,
7.
read, start at 15 again and read down. We can understand.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 15. Were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions.
Monstrous visions or ghost-like appearances. Read.
And partly fainted, their heart failing them, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them.
This is something that you wasn't looking for, right? This was something new, right? This is something they had never seen. We weren't looking to see complete total darkness. And read, monsters like beings. Read.
So then, whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars.
You see that? Shut up in prison without iron bars. Say, man, you don't want to move, man. You don't want to go nowhere. Ain't no bar stopping you from going nowhere, but you so scared that you prison right now. Oh yeah, take me down. I'm in jail. Throw away the key. You don't even need no key. They were so scared in their presence at that point in time, man, that they didn't even want to move. Like I said, they didn't even want to move, man. That's some heavy stuff, man, about these apparitions, man. That's how strong that they were. You know they coming from the Spirit of the Lord, man. That's right. Any other questions, man? I just want to read that. Go ahead, Al. I can. Who had? Mom, Ryan, you had a question after Sister Jennifer. That's right.
Men as trees, I wanted to know what scripture that was.
Mark 8:24. Men walking as trees.
Get that water. Chapter 8. Start verse 22.
The book of St. Mark, chapter 8 and verse 22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him.
Right, read.
And he took the blind man by the hand.
He took the blind man by the hand, read.
And led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked if he saw aught.
So he asked the blind man, could he see after he spit on his eyes, right? Read.
And he looked up and said, I see men as trees.
He said, he see men as trees.
Walking,
right? Walking trees. We don't.
After that, he put his hands again upon his eye and made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly.
You see that? It's the perfect example. What I got over there.
Yeah, so managers are children made by incest, right?
It's not only just that, it's children out of fornication period.
What would we do with those children? Judgment for that?
They will be unclean for a time. Who was that? And who had the mother of a whore? Jephthah?
Oh, no.
Not mistaken.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jephthah.
Right. Chapter 1 and 2.
Oh, the daughter of
Yeah.
Mama Ryan, you get that precept? Did you need another one? Okay.
Let me give you one more with that, Mama Ryan. Job chapter 14 right quick while he was before. Job chapter 14 and verse 7. Job.
The book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 7. For there is hope of a tree If it be cut down,
Uh-huh.
then it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease.
What does that mean to brothers? Let's see. Because most trees, when they cut down, do they sprout up again? Regeneration. Lets us know these trees right here can regenerate. Same thing Mark is touching on. Right? When he said he keep being his trees. Those same trees right there that he see, and then once he got the vision that they were dead, they can regenerate. Same thing. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. Go to what you say? Judges chapter 11 and verse 1. Then we're gonna go to the law and Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. What you have, Sister Elaine?
Okay, in verse 7, it says that the tender branches, they're not few, what do they mean?
Meaning like their generation, like their bloodline through their children. Just like when you see David, then you say the sons of David, like when you see in 2 Samuel chapter 7. Right? Let's go there right quick. 2 Samuel chapter 7 in verse 12.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7, and verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy father, I will set up thy seed after thee.
Those are the tender branches going in your seed or your bloodline, right? Read.
Come, which shall proceed out of thy back, and I will establish his kingdom.
So he said he's going to establish King David's son's kingdom. But what son? Read.
He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
We know Solomon reigned for how many years, brothers? 40 years. So who kingdom was established forever?
Right.
Christ. You see that, sis? So it's going through, like it's just basically going through his bloodline. Right? That you will live in your, going through your bloodline.
Get that Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1. Same thing. So remember, it's just a similar to, think of a branch. You know, you have the root of the branch, then you have the tree, then you have the branches that grow out. Most High God always compares us to those things because, like you say, our lineages, the people that descend from us, that's why we always had that picture of your what? Family what? Tree. That's the analogy of that. Keep this right quick.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
So we understand that Christ comes from the lineage or the root of David. These are these tender plants, tender trees, tender branches. We don't know.
Come. And the spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
Oh, that's all we want. You see that, Sister Elaine? Now let's go to that Judges chapter 11 and verse 1. So I question what is a mamzer, because I know it's been taught that a mamzer was only going into incest, but it's basically going into anything that has to do with fornication outside of the law. You brothers and sisters understand that?
It's a bathroom.
Yeah, like a bastard. I would say the product of basically fornication. Because remember, even incest goes into fornication. Up under fornication lies adultery, incest, basically sexual sins. Brothers and sisters understand it. Read this right quick, God.
The book of Judges, chapter 11 and verse 1. Now Jephthah, the Gileadite, was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot.
So he was the son of a harlot. Read on.
And Gilead begat Jephthah.
Read on. Let's see what happened.
And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up. And they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him,
read that slower. And they thrust out Jephthah. Read that again now.
And they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman.
So right here, he called him a strange woman. So that's where it goes interracial marriage. So not only does it cover incest, interracial marriage, marriage out of wedlock, all those things have to do with sexual sins, can go and fall up under a mamzer. Now go to Deuteronomy 23 and verse 2. So we have a law, and then we have an example of that law.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
So we see during this time, our people shun those things, man. You know, being born basically what, out of wedlock, you know, what old schools would call shacking up. These things were shunned upon our people, man. You got that up?
What about when other Israelites were had marriages with other nations? Were those children considered mothers also?
Now, they will be considered mamzers, but they still would be Israelites. You know, and I know that was always the breakdown with that. Certain people believe that it takes two parent Israelites to be Israelites, but that's not what the scriptures say. Prime example, Solomon's son Rehoboam was by who? What race? Do any brother or sister know? Who, sis? An Ammonitis, but he still sat on the throne to Israel, so he still was an Israelite. Any other questions, brothers and sisters? Go ahead.
It's something in the New Testament even show you that I read it in Matthew the other day, and I didn't even write it down. That your lineage go to your father's house. It's in Matthew. It said Matthew, did your lineage go to your father's house? You brother know what I'm talking about? Your lineage go to your father's house. It was pertaining something about maybe the Levites. It was maybe the Levites. You brother know what I'm talking about? It's something in the New Testament says something about your lineage go through your father's house. I think it pertains to somebody Levite. What you got out? Oh, okay, no, that's not it. But that's a good one though. That's a good one. But no, that's not it.
Yeah, in the New Testament.
It might not be the Levites, but it pertains to your father's house. You did a New Testament though. You said what? I think it's kind of light. In Matthew, like 18, 19, 20, something like that.
Matthew 9:36.
Read it. Matthew 9:36. Okay.
No. No. No.
It's not it. Anyway, we'll find it. Let me see. Any other questions? Yeah, come on, see.
Okay. So, in Wisdom of Solomon, this is 3:16 through 18. Kind of speaking on the same thing we just got through talking about the children out of wedlock. So these children of adulterers, do they not stand a chance to be perfect?
Remember, in this time, Wisdom of Solomon is right in that time. So in this time, they were shunned upon, but we know that everybody now through Christ has a chance to repent. That's an Israelite. We gotta make that thing clear. Christians try to clip that, man, and run with it. Read that right quick. 3 and
16 through 18.
because it's really start at verse 14, because these are people that were shunned upon. Start at verse 14. Start at verse 13. Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verses 13.
Oh, straight to it. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 13. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls.
So it's going into a sister that's keeping herself pure and undefiled. Read on.
And blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity.
Because remember, in the book of Deuteronomy, this all pertains to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23. People that were unclean and that couldn't get the kingdom until Christ came, basically. Because it's going into a sister in adultery, or undefiled is going into a eunuch next. Remember, a eunuch is what? What brother know? Raise your hand. Let me see. Brother Joshua, what is a eunuch?
A man that either physically.
Yeah, physically. I'm talking about straight physical.
Oh, okay, a man without his
private parts. Just say it like that. Keep it PG. A man that's without his private parts. So in the book of Deuteronomy, a man that has his private parts cut off could not what? Make it to the kingdom of heaven. Do brothers understand that? Do sisters understand that? This is what this is going into. Read on up.
Nor iniquity, nor imagine wicked things against God.
Read verse 14 again.
Come, and bless the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity.
Because give us an example, Brother Hosea, who was a eunuch that was righteous? Brother Hosea, who was a eunuch that was righteous?
Come on, say it out loud. He said it low. Say it out loud. Don't be scared.
Come on. Gotta write them notes down, man. You know you.
I
They don't went over this plenty of times. Help him out, Brother Dawood.
Daniel was a eunuch.
All praise, man. Daniel was a eunuch, and he was righteous as hell. So you mean to tell me Daniel was a eunuch? He ain't getting the kingdom? Come on, man. That's why we got Christ. What you got as pertaining to this?
No, it was actually what he was. I'm trying to find what he was trying to bring out in the New Testament of.
What you got?
I'm thinking it's Matthew 17 and 25.
Let's go there. Because I think it's around the area.
Oh, men reach.
No, but y'all gonna finish what y'all doing.
Read verse 14.
Come, and bless the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagine wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind.
So he's showing us that guess what? They'll be accepted too. Read on up.
Verse 15, for glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away.
This is another point. Verse 16, read this out.
As for the children of adultery, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For,
No.
okay.
Well, yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Come, for though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor.
So we see during this time, these are particular type of children, unrighteous, defiled children, that guess what? Now they do have a chance now that we do have Hamashiach Yahushua. But remember, you want to make sure that you write these things for 13, 14, 15, 16. This is pertaining to Deuteronomy chapter 23 and how these people were unclean. Could not inherit until now that we have Christ. Did that answer your question, sister?
Yes.
Sister Jess? Go ahead. That's it. 17, 15.
Go ahead, Sister Lily. I got you next. Like I know you had the question.
Okay. I'm going back to Deuteronomy 23, When you brought that modern day, did that include like civilizations or development, altering yourself?
Yeah, that kind of go into that too, because brothers should be getting vasectomy. You gotta make sure your pull-out game good.
That's right. That's it. Now, for real, that's awesome, man. That's an alteration, man. That's a definite alteration, man. Like, I don't hear a lot of sisters say, well, you know, I'm flipped, I'm done. Well, that's not the most I got. That's not at all. Like I said, I better have some kind of system, a word or something. A strong word. Slap me right here or something. You know, I know you hit me right here up here. I know it's something.
Oh, it's too late.
I mean, yes, that is. It definitely is. Well, sisters in here, we shouldn't be doing that at all, man. Right? We know that. We should know that. Go ahead. I know you've been waiting on that question for a while.
What question it was a precept for when Capt Benaniyah was talking about how the heathens understand that God, if we break his commandments, then they can keep us in a subservient state.
What precept is?
Judah chapter 5, verse 17 to 21.
Definitely. That's the go-to. That's the go-to. They know that they keep us eating pork, sinning, God loving everybody. We are one. We are one. We can get that Judah 5 and 20.
The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hated iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he had appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore.
I think this was an Ammonite king, right?
You know, and were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captive into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemy.
You see that? The temple was cast to the ground and their cities taken. Read.
But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places, like from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Now, every time that we were besieged as a nation, what were the two times we were besieged?
Babylon and Roman.
It was because of our what? Being out of ordinance, right? Read on, go ahead.
Verse 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
So he's saying as long as they are out of order, we can defeat the children of Israel. They understand that we are more powerful than them. They understand we're smarter, and we have the one true God on our side. They understand it. But if we're not using our God, well, they ain't nothing. That's what the scriptures say. Your laws is your wisdom. That makes you a great nation in the sight of the nation. What precept is that? Your laws is the wisdom, man. That's what makes you a great nation in the sight of the people. Right? But as long as them Negroes ain't keeping their laws, we're gonna overthrow them. Easy work, right? Crazy work. And it's showing you today easy work. The school systems, right? TVs, television, radio programming, man. It's just so much, man. Go ahead. So if they not keeping the commandments, we go overthrow them. They're not using our God. Read.
Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
there be no sin. If the Negroes will start back keeping them laws, wearing them fringes, putting them beards on, men being men, women being women, men being leaders, women being submissive, right? In order, right? In obedience, read.
let my Lord now pass by.
And we're gonna let them make. We're gonna try to touch up the Africans. They're gonna try to hit the thing in Africa. Not them. Right? Read on.
Lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them.
So God will defend us if we are in order with our God. Plain and simple. People always ask, well, why y'all serving the God that got y'all in the predicament we in? Well, we got ourselves in the prediction. We the ones that shook the hand and made the covenant agreement, right? All the way back in Joshua, man. People said, well, we will. Right? We said we will. Our forefathers made the agreement, man. We got to stand on it. We got to stand by it. I seen, real quick, Charles, you know, we don't like that dude, man. And I really don't like looking at him, but I seen a clip of him. He said something I could deal with. He was talking to Cam Newton. He was like, well, he was talking to him. He was like, well, this is what's wrong with our community, man. You know, you got women out here talking about this, doing that, doing this. It's a disgrace. And Cam like, well, you know, we ain't gonna really say it. He was like, what? You didn't get feelings about what I'm saying about them? Y'all didn't get feelings about what they saying to our people, to our children, the action that they are programming us to become, the people that they are programming us to become. Women are talking about Cardi B's and sexual, all this. That's not offensive. But when we go against it, oh, that's offensive, right? When we tell you how we feel about it and how it's demoralizing our community, oh, that's the problem. But it's not the problem that they're doing it to it. I was lying with one eye through you did. Then I better keep these commandments. But if we stay in order, man, the Lord will defend us, man. It says Chronicles 17:20, man. He said, what? You don't even need to move, just stand there. Show up. You go win, because I got you. But yeah, that's a great precept to show us being in order and out of order, how they take over us, man. Go ahead.
Real quick, let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 24. Acts chapter 24, verse 24. When you get there, read this out.
The book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 24. And after certain days, when Felix came with his wife, Jerusalem, which was the Jew, he sent for Paul and heard him concerning the faith in Christ. And as he read, that's it.
It says Drusilla, which was a Jewess. What does that mean? Any brother or sister? What does that mean? What you got, Shamwa?
She was an Israelite.
And that's the thought. That's why we have to dig deep into these names. You have to go into the lineage. Because at first thought you would think that. So Drusilla, do anybody know where she comes from? What is her lineage? Because that would be the thought. Brothers have to go and dig into that thing, because guess what? She's a Edomite. So this Jewish right here, what would we call it today? She's a what? Jewish or a convert. Brothers have to be careful with that. So just because we see that, brothers have to dig a little deep. So she comes from, see if you can pull it up. Pull up Antipater's lineage, and we'll see where she comes from. Antipater. That's what you got an iPhone for.
Man, I can't use the iPhone right now. How you spell it? Antipater.
Or pull up Agrippa, Salakia, Agrippa. Agrippa, Agrippa the first.
Mine says family background, born in 399 BC to a Macedonian nobleman called Antipater, was originally from the Macedonian city of Valeria, and a brother called Cassander was the parental uncle of Cassander's child, and was the marital great uncle of Bernice of Egypt.
So when we see that, we have to be careful. It's saying like the same thing in the book of Esther.
Oh, here we go.
When they became Jews.
Say this real quick. Family in early life. Herod was born in southern Palestine. His father, Antipater, was an Edomite. So you see the bloodline.
Got it. Go down. Keep going. Did you type in Antipater's lineage?
Spell it right.
Yeah, you can do the second.
This one?
Yeah. Type in lineage first. Lineages. So we have to be careful with that scroll down. Keep going. Make sure that brothers and sisters see that.
But Edomites over there. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, go back up. Click. Go back all the way up. Click that. Show more.
Say the
Right. Show more. He was native of Idumea.
Very background. I want to see the. I want brothers and sisters to see that lineage.
Keep going.
No, not that one. It has the names. You know how who they descend from. Go down. Go to what do you go to? Images. See if that'll pull up on it.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the one I want right here. Herod the Great. Click on that.
Perfect.
Yeah. And make it wide as you can.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
So you see Herod, you see Herodias, Herod, and Agrippa, and out of them they had those 4 children. You have Herod Agrippa II, then you have Bernice, then you have Drusilla. So we see that Drusilla is an Edomite. So when it says Jewess, this is just going into a what? A convert. She was converted during the time of the Maccabees.
There you go.
Thanks, Doc. So this is giving you the lineage where you have John Hyrcanus that stems from one of the Maccabees brothers, Simon. When we've made them conform to our ways, then slowly but surely they overtook us as a nation. So when you see that in there, make sure brothers put a footnote in there. Convert Edomite. She's not a Israelite. What you got?
So when we see that Jewish, that's what it's saying.
Not every time. That's why you have to go into it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You have to go into it.
Speaking of Purim, with
Yes,
at
sir.
the end when they all converted to the Jews law.
That's right. And they became Jews. How did they? Were they actually becoming Jews? No, we made them keep our laws and customs. That's what that's going into. So brothers and sisters have to be careful when y'all are going into those things.
Yeah.
Well, Israelites can be proselytes. Like it says in the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 5. Meaning they just converted, but it's different. Yeah, she just was converted. Which is another proselyte.
So what are the Herodians? Are they all Edomites or
Yes, all of this is Edomites. Herod the Great, Herod the Second, all of these are Edomites.
and they're all
That's in the
would be
land
called
today.
Herodians?
Huh?
They would all be called Herodians?
Yes. Herod the First, Herod, let me say Herodias, Herod the First, Herod the Second, Herod Philip. A lot of them would. Like today, a lot of sons carry their father's last name. You got Junior, the third, the fourth, the fifth. I think who did that? Foreman. All his sons are Junior.
Yeah.
So yeah, brothers have to be careful when you come up on that. That's why it's very important to kind of go into the history and know the history. You can take it off.
What else we got? What question they online? Revelation.
But it's the same spirit.
Brother should be able to break that down. Brother should be able to break that down. I'm telling you, brother should be able to break that down. Revelation chapter 1. This is a question in Revelation chapter what? 1 and 4. Read Revelation 1 and 4.
The book of Revelation. The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 4. John to the 7 churches in Asia. Grace be unto you and peace from him, which is and which was and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne.
Good. 7 spirits before his throne. Brothers, you know, we got to be calling. Let me see. Hosea. Gotta pick Hosea. 7 spirits, Hosea. Let's see what you got. Ray, help him out.
Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea.
Which is what?
7 churches.
7 churches. The 7 churches. Brothers and sisters, understand it, because this was a letter to the 7 churches, man. Right?
And remember, each church had different spirits with them, right? You know, he talked to each messenger at that time or leader of the church and let them know of the spirits that were upon that church at that time. Who were the only good churches?
Smyrna, Philadelphia, and
Y'all see spread out?
Smyrna.
Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. What church had the spirit of Jezebel? Thyatira.
Yeah,
Thyatira.
Thyatira.
Jezebel.
Thyatira.
So these were the 7 spirits within the 7 churches. Go ahead.
No.
Hang on.
What else question we got? Sister, kind of a little slow today, huh? What you got, Doug?
Amos chapter 6. Would that be going? Could it be going into 1, the split of the kingdom, and then 2, the first captivity of the Holy Kingdom? Amos chapter 6. Started like verse 6. I got that point of them going into captivity, verses 6 and 7. Amos 6 and 6.
Yeah, verse 7. Mm-hmm. What was the question again?
Could this be going into the split of the kingdom when they felt like they were better than everybody, and then they first captivity going into the Assyrian captivity, like verse 7 on down?
Read verse 7.
Come, the book of Amos, chapter 6 and verse 7. I started verse 6. That drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointment, that they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. Right. Therefore now shall they go captive with the first that go captive, and the banquet of them that stretch themselves shall be removed.
Meaning the Most High God was gonna put them in captivity, and they was gonna be the first to go.
I had got that because verse 14 too.
Read it real quick.
Verse 14, but behold, I will raise up against you a nation, O house of Israel, said the Lord God of hosts, and they shall afflict you from the entering in of Hamath unto the river of the wilderness.
So you was asking, is it going into the beginning of the split of the kingdom?
No, like it wasn't split. I'm saying now going into the first captivity, the Syrian captivity.
Yes. So Amos, mainly the book of Hosea. Those really Hosea is going into them going into the Assyrian captivity, and why?
That's why I said that, because I was saying Amos was right before the split. He was a prophet in that time, and he saw that, and he saw them going into captivity.
Go ahead, sis.
In Revelations 21:12, when it talks about the 12 gates and the names on them and going there, will it be set up kind of like how when the tabernacle was set and the tribes were on different parts, the north and south, 3, 3, 3? Will that mean we'll just be at these locations where we be at the mid? Like,
That's a good question, sis. A lot of those things are revealed on the details. You know what I'm saying? Like the super details. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, probably we Israelites. Because like we said, we have it. What is that? What we always say? What goes around comes around. There is no new thing under the sun. You know, so yes, we would imagine. What is that? Numbers, the ordering. I'm talking about the ordering on how we supposed to be set up. I'm driving. Yeah, how we was positioned. Brothers, remember?
number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. Inside. That's how I was looking.
Read verse. Start at verse 2.
You asked them.
Yeah. Read
The
verse
book,
2.
the book of Numbers, chapter 2 and verse 2. Every man of the children of Israel shall pitch by his own standard with the ensign of their father's house. Far off about the tabernacle of the congregation shall they pitch.
Keep going.
Okay. And on the east side, toward the rising of the sun, shall they of the standard of the camp of Judah pitch throughout their armies. And Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, shall be captain of the children of Judah. And his host, and those that were numbered of them, were 314,600. And those that do pitch next unto him shall be the tribe of Issachar, and Nethinims, and Nethinims, the son of Zuar, shall be captain of the children of Issachar. And his host, and those that were numbered thereof, were 54,400. Then the tribe of Zebulun, Eliab, the son of Helon, shall be captain of the children of Zebulun.
So we see the numbering even from what we got: Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10, on the south side shall be the standard of the camp of Reuben, according to their arm, and the captain of the children of Reuben shall be Elazar, the son of Shador.
Jump down to verse 12.
And those who pitch by him shall be the tribe of Simeon, and the captain of the children of Simeon shall be Shelumiel, the son of Zerishadai.
Start at verse 14.
Verse 14. Then the tribe of Gad.
So we have on the south side Reuben, Simeon, and Gad. Jump down straight to the point, verse 18.
On the west side shall be the standard of the camp of Ephraim, according to their armies, and the captain of the sons of Ephraim shall be Elishama, the son of Amahud.
Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And by him shall be the tribe of Manasseh, and the captain of the children of Manasseh shall be Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur.
Jump down to verse 22.
Verse 22. Then the tribe of Benjamin, and the captain of the sons of Benjamin shall be Abiah, the son of Gideon.
So we see on the west side, we got who? Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin. Jump down to verse 25.
Verse 25, the standard of the camp of Dan shall be on the north side by their army. And the captain of the children of Dan shall be the son of Amashadai.
Jump down to verse 27.
Verse 27, and those that encamp by him shall be the tribe of Asher. And the captain of the children of Asher shall be Pagiel, the son of Okran. Verse 29, then the tribe of Naphtali, and the captain of the children of Naphtali shall be Ahira, the son of Anan.
So we have each tribe, and me speaking as a man, I would think that we would go back to that order.
Because I know, I'm like, all right, he's speaking as a man. Ezekiel chapter 40. Y'all fools already know where I'm going. Right? Ezekiel chapter 40. And verse 1, verse 2.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 40 and verse 2. In the vision of God brought he me into the land of Israel, and set me upon a very high mountain, by which was the frame of a city on the south.
On the south. Jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. Then came he unto the gate which looketh toward the east.
So this is the gate on the east.
And he went up to the stairs thereof, and measured the threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad, and the other threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad.
Jump down to verse
20. Verse 20. And the gate of the outward court that looked toward the north, he measured the length thereof and the breadth thereof.
So you see the gate on the east, now you see the gate on the north, right? Read on.
And the little chambers thereof were 3 on this side, and 3 on that side. The posts thereof, and the arches thereof were after the measure of the first gate. The length thereof was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits.
So then verse 24.
After that, he brought me toward the south, and behold, a gate toward the south. And he measured the posts thereof, and the arches thereof, according to these measures. And there were windows in it, and the arches thereof round about, like those windows that the length was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits.
Verse 27.
Verse 27. And there was a gate in the inner court toward the south, and he measured from the gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner court by the south gate.
So you see, these is going into measurements of what, brothers? Going into what? Going into the temple, right? You see the east, the north, the south, and the inner gate. Like I can speak it on, we can see certain parts, but we can't. That's right. What again?
That one, right? Second.
Another one.
Brother Lamar has like not a boy either. But go ahead, Brother Ezekiel.
When we read Psalm 78, that's like giving like a synopsis like about history. But in verse 35, we know that Christ is that rock, right? And then say the higher God is the Redeemer. So it's just talking about myself the whole time. It didn't say the higher God. Right? This is to the verse.
Well, remember, like we said, it's kind of making a difference. The high God is the most high. Remember, the Most High God is our Redeemer. He's just sending Christ because the Most High God still gets that glory.
Right.
Even though Christ is the Redeemer, like we always give the analogy to like the architect in the building. The architect still gets the credit for the building.
That's the way I was coming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
Go on. I was asked about Deuteronomy 23:7. Do not abhor an Edomite. He said I had a precept I wanted to ask one of the captors I read it last night about we cannot abhor Edomites for they are our brothers. But I can't find it. Any other questions out there?
I wanted to ask you about it says like in Revelations 21:16, but how do y'all describing the temple? Would that be in the city? It would be in the city of 1,500 miles long and 1,500 miles wide.
That's as a similitude. That's as a similitude.
Yeah, that's a similitude.
Now the kingdom, like we said, remember our kingdom is mainly gonna be based in Jerusalem, but the whole earth is gonna be our kingdom.
That's right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is, man. Let's read that right quick. That Revelation 22.
21:16.
20 and 16.
21:16. Yeah. You started 21:15.
It has a similitude on how the 144,000 gonna be perfect in their measurements, and the Israelites gonna be perfect in our measurements. Brothers and sisters, understand it. Read this right quick, God.
The book of Revelation.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 15. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth 4 square, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs, the length and the breadth and the height of it are equal.
So it's not a coincidence that they're using numbers that equals what? The children of Israel, 12,000 furlongs. So these are just measurements on a symbolic level describing the Israelites. You brothers understand it. That's why it's pivotal that we understand about similitudes, how the Most High God compares us to one thing to another. Read on out. So you got the 12 tribes, read on.
Verse 17. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits.
So what is this going into? The 144,000. Do brothers see that? Remember, it's just as they similitude. Give me the book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 10, right quick.
The book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets.
So we see what the Most High God constantly, especially in the book of Genesis and the book of Revelation. Those are two of the most highly prevalent similitudes and parables, man. That's why a lot of people don't understand it. Christians don't read it because they don't understand. Go back up to verse 17.
Book of Revelation, chapter
21
in verse 17.
And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is of the angel.
So we see that the 144,000 is a wall. They're going to be pillars or what? Leaders in this time. We're going to have Christ, the 12 disciples, the 144,000, and the rest of the other Israelites of men, women, and children that are not of the 144,000. You brothers understand that? Yes, I'm gonna do it.
Let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and 7, man. We're gonna touch on it right quick. abhor the Edomite. We get that out, let's read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Dang. This is a commandment for us not to do this. Abhor an Edomite. And see where this treaty had got broken. He said in Amos. They said go to Amos. Let's go before Amos.
Samuel 15:3.
Huh?
First Samuel 15:3.
What verse is it? So verse 15:3. See what they say.
Come, the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus said the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
We remember what Amalek did to us, man. What did Amalek do to us? After we came out of what? Right? So they could have dealt with us in peace, in harmony, right? Us straight coming out of captivity. They dealt with us treacherously, right? So the Lord said he remembered what they did. Read.
And how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
So they laid wait. They was waiting on us. They were plotting, man. As soon as we came out of one captivity, they were plotting to get us, man, right? Read on.
Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not.
Hold on. They said don't abhor Edomite do. But now the Lord is telling you that he understood. And he's saying go smite, utterly smite them. He gave straight commandments, right? The Lord always gives us straight commandments. What did he say? He said, kill what? Everybody. He said, spare them not. Read on.
Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
So the Lord said that he wanted Saul to kill man and woman, children, and not only that, but also what? Their animals. He didn't want that spirit to be upon us at all. Right? So we see that this is different times, man. Right? In that time, right, the Lord gave us that understanding. And now the Lord is telling us when we were given a king, right? Because we were given the laws in Deuteronomy, but now the Lord on down the timeline is now giving us our first king. And now he commands our first king to go and utterly destroy him, right? So you see time changing. Go ahead.
Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25. Let me see what they say. Ezekiel chapter 25, start at verse 12.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12. Thus said the Lord God, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance.
By doing what?
By taking vengeance.
This is about taking vengeance, right, Reed?
And hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them.
So he said, the Lord said, Edom greatly offended, right? He offended the Lord. And they taking vengeance upon us, right? Read.
Come. Verse 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom.
He said, I will stretch my hand out upon Edom, Reed.
It will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman. And they of the Dan shall fall by the sword.
Right, read on.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people, Israel.
Y'all see that? Did y'all see that? The Lord said he gonna literally let us do something to Edom. Damn. Uh-huh. But we gotta be thinking about that, man. Right? Read.
By the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger, and according to my fear, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord God.
The Lord was pissed off with Edom. They did all the stuff that the Lord told them not to do, right? Go to Amos. Lord should know where we going. You know, sister too. Amos chapter 1.
1 and 9.
We're gonna go to the left. We're gonna go straight to it.
The book of
We go
Amos,
down, then we jump down. We'll read down.
the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 9. Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of tyrants, and 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom,
Read.
and remembered not the brotherly covenant.
So meaning them stinking Africans rounded us up, sold us into the Grecian, right? Sold us to Edom, right? They remember not the brotherly covenant.
Right.
Read.
Come, verse 10. But I will send a fire on the wall of tyrants,
Lord gonna punish them stinking Africans. We read.
which shall devour the palaces thereof.
Verse 11.
Thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword,
He pursued us with the sword and continue to pursue us with the sword, right? Read.
and did cast off all pity.
They cast out all pity, right? They don't show us no grace. They don't love us. We don't trust them. The Lord said, don't trust them, right? Read.
And his anger did tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever.
Kept it around how long?
Forever.
So they broke the covenant, right? So it is what it is.
Let's get some more, man. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Let's go to it's a couple of them. Let's go to Deuteronomy 25.
25, 19.
Yeah, 17. Get straight to it. Go to Exodus. Deuteronomy. Brothers and sisters, make sure y'all write these things down. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25 and verse 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee.
So y'all see what they did. Came from behind and got the weakest among us, meaning they got the children, they got the elderly. Read on up.
And when thou was faint and weary, and he feared not God.
So we see that they don't fear the Most High. So how are they going to get salvation if they don't even fear the Most High? Makes no sense. Remember, this is just 2 chapters over from Deuteronomy 23 and 7.
Read on now. Verse 19. Therefore it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance inheritance to possess it.
Read on.
That thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it.
Read that last part.
Thou shalt not forget it.
Esau tells us to forget it. But do you think Esau forgets those things? No. That's why the Most High God said, do not forget it.
Right.
Give me Exodus 17 and verse 14. These are all precepts that brothers have to have linked up. 1 Samuel chapter 15, Deuteronomy 25, 17, Exodus chapter 17, verse 14. These are all precepts. Deuteronomy 23 and 7. They have all these precepts to home in the point.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book.
And what?
And rehearse it in the ears of Joshua.
Meaning it's our job to constantly go over these things. That's why we have what? The destruction of Nicanor. Nicanor is an Edomite. That's why we have the Feast of Purim. Haman was an Edomite. We see all these judgments that the Most High God pronounced
and all these high holy days that we celebrate in the destruction of Edomites. But they never bring these things up, man. The book of Maccabees. They say the book of Romans here. The book of America here. I mean, they keep going on and on. Read on, huh? And rehearse in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Meaning it's our job to constantly keep going over these things. Brothers should know why we're celebrating the Feast of Purim, while we're celebrating the feast and the destruction of Nicanor, while we're celebrating a feast of dedication. Brothers and sisters got to understand why we're celebrating these things. Because when we ask you about Christmas, hey, 5-year-old child can know why. Read on, huh? Verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. So the Most High God had Moses set up an altar in remembrance of that thing. Bro, I would love to see that thing today. Read on, huh? For he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And the same thing Capt Jerubbaal brought out, a perpetual hatred. That's going on from what? Generation to generation. Go ahead, huh?
Class. Chapter 9. Verse 13.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
He said, Jacob have I loved, read.
But Esau have I hated.
So the Lord hate him too.
Base.
The Lord hate him. Watch this. So they said, if the Lord hates him, then is it unrighteousness in the Lord? Right? Verse 14.
What shall we say then?
What shall we say then?
Is there righteousness with God?
Is there righteousness because the Lord said, I hated Edom? Read.
God forbid.
God said, hell no. He said, hell no. It's simple. Next question.
Let's go to Joshua chapter 11. Yeah, we're gonna run all up and down this thing, man. For real. They love to say, oh, forget it. No, the Lord didn't say forget it. He said he didn't forget it. The Lord said, I remember what they did to you. Oh, yeah, and we'll get another precept on that too. But Joshua 11 and 20.
Yeah, start up in like 17. No, start up in like 15. We're gonna read 15.
We'll jump down a little bit. I just want to get some context. Joshua 11 and 15.
The book of Joshua, chapter 11, verse 15.
Bring it out.
As the Lord commanded Moses his servant, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord commanded Moses.
So you see, our forefathers in great order, man, right? Moses commanded Joshua, and as Moses was commanded Joshua, Joshua did exactly what he was commanded to do, right? Jump down to 17.
Even from the Mount Halak.
Let's just read 16, man. Read now.
Verse 16. So Joshua took all that land, the hills, and all the south country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same.
Read on.
Even from the Mount Halak that goeth up to Seir.
Even from the Mount Halak, they go up to where?
Seir.
To Mount Seir, right? Knowing that that's going to who? The Edomites, right? So Joshua is in complete order with this thing. Read on.
To Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under Mount Hermon. All their kings he took and smote them and slew them.
He took, smote, and slew them. Read on.
Joshua made war a long time with all those kings.
And it said that Joshua made war a long time with those kings. You read?
There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All others they took in battle.
Come on, man. Y'all see this, man? Why are we trying to friend everybody when did nobody want to friend us, man? Right? Save the Hivites right at this time. Right? The Lord remembers this thing, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 20. For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle.
But this whole thing was all predestined by the Most High God. Right? to show his power, to show that we do have enemies, to show that he has one chosen nation of people. Huh? Read on.
That he might destroy them utterly.
That he might destroy them just a little bit. Utterly. Destroy them utterly, right? I mean, completely. Read.
And that they might have no favor.
And no favor, man. Come on, man. That's Deuteronomy 23:6.
Right.
Destroy them utterly and that they have no favor. We don't have no favor for the heathen to keep ruling over us, man. Read on.
But that he might destroy them, as the Lord commanded
And who commanded?
as the Lord commanded Moses.
Now jump to Deuteronomy 7:22 right there. Yeah, it is funny, man. It's funny how they don't read these scriptures. Oh, Deuteronomy 23:7. Oh, you can't abhor.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 22.
Bring it up.
And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little.
Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 22. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little.
By little and little. So it was of the Most High God to what? To put out them little by little, right? It wasn't that, oh, well, it said in Deuteronomy not to abhor. But you see later on, little by little, and Samuel, where he told them to go utterly destroy them, right? You seen a little more later on in Ezekiel and a little more in Amos, and he said little by little we're going to destroy them, right? This is what the Most High God's plan, man. Read it again, and let's see why.
And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little.
Read on why.
Thou mayest not consume them at once.
Not at once. It wasn't for us to kill Amalek at that certain time at once. It was all part of the Most High God's plan. Right. Not at once. Read.
Lest the beasts of the fields increase upon thee.
Let the beasts of the field increase. So the Lord has great war tactics for the children of Israel. This is why he gives us the understanding of how we should go into war. Because war tactics win wars. You got to have understanding of how to go into war. The Lord said, we're not going to kill them off utterly at once. We're going to do it little by little so that we can get the upper hand on them. And then we'll get the upper hand on them so that everybody won't join together like they're doing right now against us, right? That's why Amalek had a little space. That was a little space. Deuteronomy 23:7, that was a little space that they had. But now their space is gone. Yeah, make sure I put them precepts in. 1 and 9. Yeah.
Any other questions out there? Any other questions?
Okay. Well, let's get us a law then. Let's go give us a law. What law can we get today? Deuteronomy 25:17. That's good. Long question, man.
Question.
Well, not everybody speak at one time, but loud.
All right. You know how we had those precepts from Matthew 8 and 11. I got the Luke 13:29, Zechariah 8 and 7, Genesis 28 and 14, Isaiah 43 and 5. Now, I didn't get Psalms 107, 2 and 3. Could I add that in there?
Is you describing from the east and the west?
Yeah.
Read it right through.
The book of Psalms, chapter 107, verse 2. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, and gathered them out of the lands, from the east and from the west.
That's going like that's going into the gathering. You talking about the gates, or you talking about the gathering?
The gate, you know, to the kingdom of heaven.
Gathering to the kingdom.
Yes, I could use that.
Now he's talking about the walls.
Yeah, he talking about
Okay. Yeah.
Isaiah 43:5, Matthew 8:11, Zechariah chapter 8 verse 7. Yeah. Christians try to make it seem like it's everybody, but I mean, it gives you the context starting from the book of Genesis. Christians is crazy, man. Crazy.
Christian Mingle, huh? Christian Mingle back home. Mingle doctrine.
Mangling for real, guys.
Christian mangling scripture, man. Crazy work.
Let's get us a law, man. Deuteronomy chapter 25, man. Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 19. Don't you forget it.
That's a good song. Don't forget your way home.
Get your way back, man. I put that on my little pro,
Right.
My goodness.
Read that up.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, and verse 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how you met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee.
Man, the Amalek, y'all some weak ass bastards. And I'm just saying, man.
All of these man had terrible tactics. They want to fight us naked, man. I mean, it's just, come on, man.
That's disgusting.
Fight us on our Sabbath, like, y'all, what?
Pick out women and children. Man, that's don't take something. That's Esau, man. It's fine.
Right, man. I'm whack.
I think my voice cleared about that.
the worst of the nations.
Right? Read up.
How he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou was faint and weary, and he feared not God.
Right, read on.
Therefore it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest
He gonna give us rest, read.
from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it,
Right, read.
that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
So we gonna, man, they gonna be blotted off the earth, man. They gonna be like, we go to a museum, we gonna go see, hey, I remember they used to be on the earth. They not even gonna be here anymore, man. Right, read.
Thou shalt not forget it.
Don't you forget this, right? And with that, we give our honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Shah. Shabbat Shalom. You got any questions, but we just asked a lot.